Welcome to another SailfishOS app podcast, and this time I want to show you the app Jolla Together, which is basically the application for the community website togetheryola.com. You can find the app in the Yola store, as you can see here. You can vote it up, you can download it. And of course, if you start it for the first time, you have the option to log in. You don't need to log in to see all the questions, but I would recommend you to log in if you want to follow questions and want to comment on those questions. So what you can do is just hit on login. Basically, my logout will be your login if you don't already are logged in here. And then you can see that you are logged in. You can see your karma points, and you can see your gold badges. As you can see here, there is a pointing system, so you get karma points for good answers, or gold badges even for good answers and for good comments or something like this in this kind of community forum of Yola and SailfishOS. As you can see here, there's some statistics about the forum or the conversation board. And you can, in the pulley menu, go to your questions, not your question, but basically all questions listed about in the same way as on the website. Just like, for example, newer questions are on the top and older ones on the bottom, and you can scroll through them and they will be loaded dynamically, as you can see here. So you can scroll through different pages as well. And as you can see here, some statistics, 60 questions of 15,043, and loaded are 2 pages of 502. Then you can see the overview of the questions or the threads, basically, just like, for example, those in here. You can see there's not only the title of the question or of the thread, but there are also some tags, just like, for example, Migo and Sailfish in this case. There is also an indicator for answered questions. As you can see here, there's a little answered in here, and you can see also the answers here. But this answer here means basically that this answer was accepted by the author of the question, by the original creator of the question, which is pretty important to know, because then you know that the question itself was answered to the satisfaction of the one that asked the question itself. So that's it. Basically, you can see some other statistics like creation date and views and votes, for example. Votes are pretty interesting. If you have bug or feature requests, you can see how many people are affected or how many people want this feature. And if you go into one thread or a question, you can see the question itself, you can see the statistics as well, the question itself, and above it you have the option to search the question or follow the question, which, when you are logged in with your Yola account, should send you an email when a new comment or a new answer to this question or thread was created. And you have the option to vote up or down, which is, as I said, particularly interesting if you want to have a feature request that the developers should take a look into it. It makes a lot of sense if there are lots of votes for this particular feature request. The same goes for bugs. If there's a very strange bug that you want to fix, voting it up might help to get the developers' attention. And you can see, divided by comments and answers, the various different reactions of the community. Comments are basically just, have you tried this and this to solve this problem? Basically other questions or ways of communication. And answers are basically the absolute answer to this question. So just like, for example, how much is 2 plus 2? And the answer will be 4. And the comment would be, yeah, depending on which system of numbers are you using? Just something like this, for example, an easy example in this case. So this is the divide between comments and answers. So if you're looking for on a particular bug or a feature request or problem or question, then go to the answer is the first thing that you have to do to get an answer. And then if the answer is not good enough for you, you can go to the comments and see what different people ask there, and might be also very interesting to communicate. But you can see you have, even if I'm logged in, I don't have the option to comment in here, which is basically because it's not implemented here, but there's a web view. You can see this little dot here, which indicates there's a site hiding, another page hiding. And in this case, it's the website itself, and here I have the option to answer or add a comment to a question or to an answer even. And as you can see, you can comment and send it. And if you're logged in, this works pretty much very good. Yeah, this is basically the thread itself. In the thread overview of all different threads, you have the option to refresh, of course, but also search and filter, which is a very powerful search, which allows you not only to search for terms or questions, but also add and modify tags to the search, which is very interesting. If you're particularly searching for bugs or feature requests, you can add it here. Just click on add and enter a new tag in here, and you can search then for this tag. You have some filters, just like, for example, closed questions. So only if you want to have questions that were accepted by the original author and answered questions, for example. As you can see here, there's a nice little description about it as well, or unanswered questions, especially useful if you want to give support for those poor little starters of SailfishOS that don't know anything. You can search for unanswered questions and give them a little help and answer their questions. You can have, of course, some options for the sorting as well. This is basically the search, nothing very fancy, but very powerful search. You have some other options, just like, for example, followed questions, which is basically all the questions that you followed. So you can get an overview and see what's new in here, for example. And just like, for example, the Yola occasional ticking sound, which is driving me nuts sometimes. And I have to restart every time I use the camera. I have to restart the device to not hearing this ticking sound when the screen is off. A bug in this case, and I can upload it. As you can see here, I uploaded it, and if you have the same problem on Yola or Intex Aquafish, just upload it, and maybe or hopefully this bug gets fixed very quickly. Now let me go back and show you something else. You can go to a list of users that are in here, and as you can see, every user has a karma point, which is basically the karma points I think are raising when you are giving lots and lots of feedback. And then you have the gold badges, silver badges, premium badges, and so on for good answers or for premium answers or for the best supporter in the world, something like this. And you can see you have the little dot here. This means you can go into the web view. Let me go click here on this one, for example, which will start loading his profile and all the questions that he asked or threads that he created. Sometimes also how-tos or something like this, which is also possible to add here into the Jolla Together app. And of course you have some settings as well. If I go to settings, you can see there are some settings, just like, for example, 1 or 2 lines for the title bar, especially for long titles that make sense, and bigger devices, for example. You can set the font size and change it to extra large, medium, small. Small is the default. Extra large is an option if it's too small for you. But this also means you have lesser threads shown in one view. Same goes for show tags and show separated line between questions. If you untick them here, you will get more questions shown in the overview. And some other options as well here, just like, for example, question text font size and the answer text font size, and some other things here, just like, for example, some swipe back from the web view, which is enabled by default, which works. So some settings in here for this little neat application. So this is the app called Jolla Together. I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of the application. Very good application. Thumbs up for this. If you want to give it a thumbs up as well, go to the Yola store, give it a thumbs up, and have a nice day. This was everything for this screencast out.